Hello. This short school reports video is for program directors and instructors of schools that certify their students with AMT and want to learn how to access reports to check on the status of their students' certification. During the video, I will share an overview of the management reports available to you and how they are commonly used. We will also cover how to get to the reports from our website. Here is a list of all of the available reports. Most schools use these reports to help track and monitor their student certification progress. To gain access to your reports, you must first visit the AMT website and log in to access your portal. Once you are logged in, you will be in your school portal and be able to see the available reports in the left-hand column under the My Account information. If you are also an AMT member yourself, please ensure you are logging in with your school login and not your personal member login. One of the first things I want to talk about before we get into this report is this print button. This button will appear on the top of any report in your portal. I'll come back to this button later, but just know that you can use it to print the report as a PDF, which you can then use to send to others if you need to. Now that we have that covered, I will go into this report, which is a favorite for schools that utilize the bulk purchasing for applications. It is the Bulk Purchases Summary Report. It's an overview of the bulk purchases you have on file with AMT. It includes invoice number, date of purchase, product description, how much the purchase was for, how much has been used, and how much is still remaining. You can also see which one of your students have applied, and the date, so it's easier to track your students on any particular invoice, which is also the coupon code number you will provide to your students. Basically, it allows you to keep track of all your funds and students on the same convenient report. The current Unpaid Invoices report gives you a rundown of bulk purchase invoices. You can see which one of your invoices are still outstanding and need to be paid. It shows you the invoice number along with the amount owed. And our newest addition to this report is the PO number. So it's, again, all conveniently in one report for you. This is the practice exam roster report. You will only use this report if you do bulk purchases for RPT or RMA practice exams. This report is helpful because it allows you to see which one of your students are listed under each practice exam code. You can also see how many codes have been used and how many codes are still remaining. This is especially important for schools that regularly purchase the bulk practice exams to keep the codes organized. Here's where you can see the practice exam event code. A little tidbit about the naming convention of the code. It goes org ID number, _ year, month, date, _ exam type. The code is case sensitive, so the exam type, for example, the RMA, needs to be in all caps as shown on this report. This is the practice exam results roster. You will only use this report if you do bulk purchases for RPT and RMA practice exams. This report allows you to see students' practice exam progress and how they fared on the practice exam attempt for each of their attempts. It can show you if your students are prepared enough to take the actual exam or if they need a little more guidance. Here you can see an example of a student who took the practice exam twice. The program director or instructor can see that their score improved over the first 2 attempts. This report can be filtered by date as well, so that you can easily see certain groups of students. The Applicant Status report is an overview of all of the students AMT has on file under your school. It gives you specific information pertaining to their application, such as name, AMT ID, birth date, graduation date, how they are testing, and important dates such as when they started their application, when they were authorized to test, application expiration date, and their exam date. Please note that the graduation date is what they listed when they completed their application online. Students in the red box are those that have already applied. You can see that one hasn't taken the exam yet and one already has and passed. This highlighted student started their application, However, they have not yet been authorized to test. This could mean that they have missing additional information required for authorization. The next report, Missing Items Per Applicant, will show you just what they need to provide in order to be authorized to take their exam. This is the Missing Items Per Applicant report. As I had mentioned, it allows you to see which students have submitted their application to AMT, but also have other items missing from their application that might be needed before we can approve them to sit for their certification exam. Most of the time, the information that is missing can be updated by the student by logging into their AMT portal. You can see an example of this highlighted in yellow. This student did not include course dates and/or expected graduation date, so they will need to log in and correct that before their application can be finalized. For the first two students on this report, all of the information needed to approve them to test has been submitted. The only missing items are their transcripts. However, because they can test prior or during their externship, the transcripts might not be submitted until after they take their exam. Some missing items should be submitted by the school. The report shows you the application expiration date so that you can provide the necessary documentation prior to the student's application expiring. For example, all three of these students shown need their transcripts to be sent to us once they have completed their program. Official transcripts must be submitted. However, unofficial transcripts can be accepted if sent directly from the school and not the applicant. Transcripts can be sent to documents@americanmedtech.org. When sending transcripts, including a list of students and their AMT ID numbers will result in quality control and quicker processing. The easiest way to do that would be to include a copy of this particular report in your email along with the entire group of transcripts. This is where that print button I mentioned earlier comes in handy. You can print that report in a PDF and attach it to the email when you send us transcripts. This is the Exam Performance by Certification report. This report is very valuable for schools, especially for accreditation purposes. It shows you the date the applicant took their certification exam, whether they passed or failed, and even the percent they got correct in each section. Knowing the percentages is helpful because you can pinpoint what areas your students need extra help or assistance in. Some schools even use this information to adjust their curriculum if a majority of students are scoring low in a specific section. The new addition to this form is the exam format. So you can now see if the student took the exam in person or online. For this report, you can filter by date as well to capture the students you need at any given time. However, it only goes back 5 years. This is still the Exam Performance by Certification report. I just wanted to show you an example of a student that took the exam more than once to demonstrate that you can see all of their attempts in the same report. The campus snapshot isn't really a report. However, it is still worth mentioning because it can be found in the same location as all the other reports, and it contains the current information about your programs, accreditation, and contacts. It shows what programs from your school are approved, course hours, externship hours, accreditation, type of school, and the contacts. If anything changes regarding your curriculum or contact info, please let us know. Once again, these are all of the reports available to you as the school rep. I think the top 3 reports used by schools regularly are 1, the bulk purchase summary. For example, if you're interested in finding out how many applications you have remaining on a particular code, check the bulk purchase summary report for that. Second would be the Applicant Status report. Are you curious to see if your students are authorized to take their exam? Refer to the Applicant Status report. And third would be the Missing Items report. Want to know what's holding up a student's certification and what documents to submit? Look at the Missing Items report. That was the overview of the reports you have access to on the AMT portal. As always, we are here for you. You can contact our account care team via phone or email, and don't forget to connect with us on social media.